The NBA president and the Commissioner for Information of Bias State in reverse order. So, given their thoughts and opinion about having insignia. Well, Dr. Mohammad, if you did hear what both gentlemen did say now, let's get your thoughts on it. Do you think there's anything wrong with any group, anybody, any association having their insignia as well as the national anthem this time? I beg your pardon. Anthem, not national anthem.
Frankly speaking, I wish I could say it doesn't matter. But history must serve as a guide. I remember when the states were created, and each one rushed and started creating their own insignia, and some even created their own national anthem. I remember it was, I think, General Tiwa Danjuma, then the real strongman of the regime, who banished it and said, look, this idea of having separate insignias and what have you should be banished, and let's have one insignia and, of course, one national anthem. People who talk about separate insignias, a separate national anthem, and separate claptrap of a state are blind by copying America. But American history is different from Nigerian history. Americans have their own insignia, they have their own anthems, and up till now, those states which fought the Civil War in the South, the Confederate states, have their own labels and their own symbols and what have you. That doesn't matter. That bothers me. But what bothers me is the sinister insinuation behind it. The idea that you can continue to attempt to divide the country along tribal and other primordial lines, the way it has been done, because we know there is, for example, a constitution for the Oduduwa Republic. There is also a signature for some of the states. There are also national symbols, which show that there is a plan afoot, which is being remorselessly pursued to break up the country, and in doing so, nobody wants to pay the price. I'm not saying that the country cannot be broken. The country can be broken. But I want to assure you, there has to be a price. Because throughout history, no country has been broken through some of these very childish and stupid subterfuges. Through trying to agitate here, if you leave that agitation, you leave that. Today, a sovereign national conference. Tomorrow, it is state police. The other day is this and that. They should come and tell us they don't want the Nigerian state, and let us now go through the motion of breaking up Nigeria and then pay the consequences. I don't want to waste my time about insignia or what have you. It is behind what is behind it. The way that you can steal other people's money, enrich your own regime, and at the same time leave other people in poverty and say, yes, now let us break up the country. That will not happen. There will have to be a price. And I challenge those who think that if they can do it free of charge, and let them try it.
There are some other matters, Dr. Mohammad, that we need to get your thoughts on, but just a moment, let's get Anke Briggs to respond to some of these matters about this insignia and some signals being sent out there, he suggests, not exactly encouraging.
Well, let me say that I started off this discourse by using one very strong word, which is objectivity, that we should be objective in Nigeria today. I think we're too big and too grown, 50 years of a nation of independence. We should be objective. Now, Dr. Mohammad used words like selfish, ignorant, violation, mistakes, and stuff. And the NBA former chairman has said certain things. As for the issue of the NBA, the NBA is supposed to be on the side of the people. These are people that are a group of people that are supposed to be the last resort of the ordinary, every Nigerian. So for the NBA to get up every time there are issues, and staying with this particular one of the insignia that Bayelsa State has done, and now make an issue that federal government should do something. Let federal government do what federal government has to do. The people must do what they also have to do so that their lives and their situation and their environment and their rights can no longer be abused. Now, if Dr. Mohammad says that 62%, that they make up 62% of this country, and land mass
is according to 2006
according
census.
To 2006 census. Now, let us also be clear here that he may also be ignorant of the fact that the British government the person who was on ground when the census was conducted in this country before the election has it online. They can dispute it with him if they want, that the census was rigged in favor of the North to enable them give political power to the North when they were handing over. These are facts that are on ground. And these are the things that we are now talking about. Now, he also talked about selfishness. If we're talking about selfishness, selfishness is about a people that refuse to see the sacrifice that the Niger Delta as a region has made for Nigeria, is making for Nigeria. The suffering of the Niger Delta people.
Isn't the country, the entire region,
now
one way or the other?
We are talking now and defending where we're coming from. We cannot continue to pretend that we're not different people. We're one country, admitted. But I am an Ijaw person first.
Well, I think that's why we've always
but you see, these are the issues.
I think that's what the whole nation is about. I remember then we had this payoff unity in diversity, and I'm quite sure even that Dr.
But
Junaid,
are we practicing it? Are we respecting those things today? See,
I just wanted to quickly go back to him, sorry, because we're actually looking at time here. He too will talk about all of that, but there's another sore point, and Dr. Mohammad, sorry, Ms. Briggs, Dr. Mohammad, there's another issue we actually wanted you to comment on before we let you off the phone, and it has to do with the call for state police. Once we thought the governors were all on the same page, until recently the northern governors said something quite different, saying that, well, the issue of state police should be buried. What's your take on that?
In life, you do things as you move along and you learn from your mistakes. I was alive and very much active when we had the Native Authority Police and the regional police forces. And I knew I was a victim of those kind of arrangements whereby Native Authority Police, particularly in the North, were used in support of the party of the establishment, which was then what they call the Northern People's Congress. Many of us whose parents and grandparents did not belong to that party were jailed, and the arbitrariness was incredible. The decision to make the Nigerian police a unified single force, in fact, the agitation did not come from the North. It came from the Southwest. I remember vividly, and I can still recall some of the discussions, both in Parliament and outside the Parliament, on the pages of newspapers that were available then. I want to say categorically that at the moment, Nigeria is not ready for that kind of multiplicity of police forces. And let me tell you, in government and in social science, multiplicity of police forces and security services is an indication of the weakness of the state. So those who are asking for additional police forces or regional police forces are telling us they want their own independent police so that they can rig elections as they like. Already we have enough problem with the current system of policing. If we make the police sole responsibility of these useless governors that we are deceiving ourselves, there will be no election. We might as well say democracy. Secondly, the other lady was talking about a British man who said the election were rigged in favor of the North.
What at a time, Dr. Mohammad?
Who was the British man and which year was that?
Okay, Dr. Mohammad, we get your point on the constitutional review matter. I'm afraid we'll have to let it go here now because we're really out of time, but thank you very much indeed for speaking with us this morning, Dr. Junaid Mohammad from Kano, and Ms. Briggs will also, of course, maybe on state police. Do you think it's desirable in the light of all of these vibes that seems to be going on? Should we just hold on a minute? When everything cools down, we'll sit down and talk about this, perhaps.
First of all, my name is Ann Q. Briggs, and Dr. Mohammad may come from an area in Nigeria where women don't have names and faces. I have a name and I have a face, and I object to him referring. No, it's not an error of omission. He never mentioned my name. I mentioned his name. He never mentioned my name, and I object very strongly against what he has done today. I am not one of his women from his region, and he cannot put me down the way that, let me finish, he cannot, I will not allow him to put me down the way that he has proceeded to do. He has used the word ignorant. I am by far by a very long distance. So I am not ignorant.
Right.
I am
but
definitely
state police should
definitely state police is not an issue. We can't even govern properly. What are we talking about state police for? But in any case, state police, who is going to even fund it? It's still from the Niger Delta that they're going to get the money to fund all these state police that they're talking about. Anybody that wants state police should fund their own. And as a matter of fact, if he's claiming that he is 62% of this country, he should bring 62% of the revenue that we need to develop Nigeria. He should let go of 62% of the revenue that he's collecting that is coming from the Niger Delta.